We're ready to go. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're having a meetup tomorrow, not today. I have to think of how to make it rhyme, it's got to work. Anyway, let's get going. Right over to Tom Fishburne. Okay, AI written, AI read. Oh, this is one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. And so this person says, AI turns this single bullet point into a long email I can pretend I wrote. Then the recipient says, AI makes a single bullet point out of this long email I can pretend I read. So is this productivity or what? No, it's not. Okay, one piece of slang that has long embodied. I haven't never heard of it before, but I used it already this morning. The short attention span internet is TLDR, short for too long, didn't read. Because I get these invitations to connect on LinkedIn, and whether they're real people or not, I'm never sure. But then once I say yes and I accept their invitation, which I generally do, then I get a long, long email that's ridiculous. And I write them a little note, say this is too long to read. This is a chat window, and I'm not reading it. I gotta say, I got this new mug. Oops, you can't see I can see the logo. Always put your logo on both sides of the mug, right? Or you would have got a free plug here. The style consultant gave me that. She decided that it was a mug I would really like. It's probably too big. Trouble with really big mugs. Interestingly, my wife likes really big mugs. The trouble with really big mugs is the coffee gets cold before you finish it all. At least at the rate. I like to match my cup size with the rate of drinking. So anyway, too long, didn't read. I just used that on a LinkedIn follow-up message. Now we need too long, didn't write. Got it? A January survey from Fishbowl found, and usually Tom links those, but I don't think he did. 40% of nearly 12,000 workers have used ChatGPT or other AI tools at work. Nearly 70% said they do so without telling their managers. Well, I didn't. So if you get something from me, it's my hand wrote it. And that's the way it is. But there's some funny stuff in here. When we all have tools to create endless streams of content, we'll also need tools to filter through endless streams of content. What a dopey world we live in. John Herman had an interesting take a few weeks ago in New York Magazine entitled "The Nightmare of AI-Powered Gmail Has Arrived." John wrote, "Are you excited for your coworkers to become way more verbose, turning every tapped out sounds good into 3-paragraph letter?" And I've noticed that the higher up in the company, the less likely it is to be a 3-paragraph note. Okay? I purposely keep my replies to 3 or 4 words when I'm trying to work with a CEO or something like that. Are you looking forward to wondering if that this is the best part. That lovely condolence letter from a long-lost friend was entirely generated by software, or if he just smashed the more heartfelt button before sending it? Here, last month, an awkward adolescent period of AI. There's tremendous I can't even go on. Vanderbilt University administrators had to apologize for sending a condolence email to students about the shooting at Michigan State. At the bottom of the condolence email, they accidentally left a footnote that the email had been written by ChatGPT. Now there's a heartfelt condolence letter. Sometimes, as I've said many times, it's better not to send that email. OMG. That's a bad mistake. Figuring out when and how to use these tools appropriately and productively will take time. Yeah, if at all, right? When the same tools are available to everyone, the differentiator will be how we use the tools, not the tools themselves. I did see a cartoon, I should have brought it up. It said, "You're not AI will not replace you and your job. Someone who knows how to use AI better than you do will replace you in your job." Now there was a scary cartoon. Okay? But by default, they are homogenation machines spitting out lookalike content for everyone. Right? So, not like me. My content does not look like ChatGPT. Although that is one of the problems. My niece is a professor of philosophy at Gonzaga. Condolences to Gonzaga. They got knocked out yesterday. But they got crushed. Anyway, but she said it's a significant problem that they have. And I said, is the problem that they're using ChatGPT, or is the problem that the level of writing in undergrad essays so terrible that you can't tell the difference, that the AI is probably better? She said that's it. She said. So I'll try and tag her. I don't know if she's on LinkedIn or not, but if so, I will tag her, and thank you for that. Okay, it takes work and creativity to use them in ways that will actually stand out. Oh, brother, yeah. It's like using search. You know, if you just take the first few things that come out, I'll show you later. Okay, I keep coming back to my favorite observation from HubSpot VP Scott Brinker. Technology changes exponentially, organizations change logarithmically. I always thought, well, the log of a number, I guess that's a slower change. I think organizations change arithmetically and technology changes exponentially would be a better quote. Anyway, let's go on. Consumers want communication that is human, empathetic, and real. So hopefully our AI can learn to generate content like that for them. Yeah, I saw a customer experience. There was an article in, I think it was Customer Experience magazine, and they were talking about how customers want empathetic communication from a company when they have a problem, and they were hoping that chatbots would give them that. And the hope was that more chatbots would give more empathy than the current level of we are experiencing an exceptionally high call volume at this time. The wait is 57 minutes. Anyway, let's get on. Get on with this. Here we go. Make it simple. ROI will soar, by Grant Johnson, who's a board member of the Wisconsin DMA. And so whenever he writes something, we got to dive in. A few years ago, while researching the power of simpler copy, something I have preached for decades, I came across a great Princeton University research paper titled "Consequences of Erudite Vernacular Utilized Irrespective of Necessity, Problems with Using Long Words Needlessly." And so I'm going to upload the abstract of this. There it is. But I found an abstract in Discover Magazine, which was easy to reprint. Plus, it included this nifty picture, a California bumper sticker on an Audi, mind you, that said, "Eschew obfuscation," which means keep it simple, I suppose you could say. So this is just the abstract. This is about as far as I could understand. Most texts on writing style encourage authors to avoid overly complex words. However, a majority of undergrads admit to deliberately increasing the complexity of their vocabulary so as to give the impression of intelligence. Right? We used to thumb through a thesaurus by hand. Now we don't have to. Experiments have found a negative relationship between complexity and judged intelligence. So if you want to look dumb, it's especially important not to use obscure vocabulary incorrectly. That is a bang, dead giveaway. Okay, the negative impact of complexity was mediated by processing fluency. Okay, so then they have something to say about it. In an effort not to be influenced by the irrelevant source of fluency, they overcompensate and are biased in the opposite direction. So because you have to process unusual words, it's really unusual words. They don't have to be big words. You actually judge the writer to be less intelligent, not necessarily less well educated. Might be more educated. Okay, so back to Grant's article. Okay, the paper is well written but a tad long. Essentially, it proves a few things. That's what the paper, if you want to read the whole paper. Our over-communicated society craves simplicity. Okay, as I said. The smaller the words you use, contrary to popular belief. Now, subordinate phrases also are a challenge. When I was in grad school, we were taught basically, or I don't know who we were taught, but everybody writes like this. We picked up to use subordinate phrases often. So this interjected, contrary to popular belief, that's a subordinate phrase, I believe that is. The smarter you appear, the smaller the words you use, the smarter you appear. Not that appearing smart is necessarily the best thing. Musician's Friend has the stupid deal of the day, where they claim that they mistakenly are giving away something that someone isn't paying attention to, and I always liked the Fire Mountain Gems. They had a cartoon of Stewart dropping bags of beads, and so you got a random grouping of beads because Stewart dropped the bag, and I think it was called Stewart's stupid deal of the day or something. So sometimes appearing to be less intelligent can be a better sales vehicle, right? That's kind of the Sandler, be not okay. People will feel sorry for you. Don't carry a pencil with your pen. When you're especially he was talking about home selling, ask him for a pen. Ask him, say, I don't seem to have a pen. They'll want to help you. People can't help but care. We watched The Whale last night, and that's one of the poignant lines in it. Interesting movie, I have to say. Okay, people want you to cut to the chase, and that begins by writing in a basic declarative style that we can process quickly. There's a lot of interjections in this article. I always try to get rid of interjections. What does it do? We can read that sentence. People with deep vocabulary still impress us. Subordinate clause, right? But what good is it? There's a bunch of them in here, I notice. Personally, here at Repository, again, does that help you any? No. Here at Repository, we strive for the simplest form of copy whenever possible. Okay, simpler is get rid of the interjections at the beginning of the sentences. There's a bunch of them here. Anyway, excellent article. I did do a grammar checker because this paragraph, this sentence goes all through here. That's another thing that you can do is short sentences. It makes your style punchy, which I was accused of by a lawyer who said, yes, your punchy style might be effective or something like that. I don't think it was a compliment. But I had to work hard getting out of philosophy to get rid of subordinate clauses at the beginning, especially to get rid of passive voice. You know, one might think that one could, but in reality, one is challenged to do so practically. That's the way I used to write. So anyway, the bottom line is If you discover how to communicate simply, see again, those, second party. It could say, if you discover how to communicate this way, you are perceived as more honest. Right? You get that? Okay. I can do this to anybody. But Grant is a friend, so I'm gonna call him up later. Um, as most measurable marketing is copy driven first, and again, here's another these interjections and subordinate clauses. Look at this sentence. That's a one long sentence. Okay, I would say we could knock that out easy. But if you want help with your integrated multi-channel campaigns, reach out to Rob Tresick or give me a call at whatever it says there. And don't forget, there's a Zoom tomorrow. I'll probably send one out either late today or early tomorrow to remind you that there's a Zoom tomorrow. It's just a lot of fun, as you can see. And people make connections, and actually we do have some business deals come from these things because some of these people are very big decision makers that want to take it a little easy at the end of the day on Tuesday. So get over to wdma.org. There's a little box in the upper right. You click on that and you can register, or you can click on, if I sent you an email, you can get that. And like and share. Feel free to invite your friends. They'll think you're smart. Have a great day. Bye-bye.